A lot of you think funnels are an online thing, and the one that I've drawn up on the board is a typical online process. But actually, a funnel is just a way to take someone from being a cold lead or someone who's never heard of you to becoming a client or a customer. And that's online or offline. So for example, offline, it might be that you walk the gym floor, you talk to X many amount of people per day, and of those people, a percentage will take up a free consult with you, and of those taking up the free consult, a percentage will go on and become a client. That is a funnel in itself, and the reason to know your numbers through the funnel is to improve it or to set yourself new targets. I'll show you with an online example here, so I hope you can see most of this. So it starts with traffic. So traffic is just a word for the people out there. So if we were taking Facebook as an example, there are millions and millions and millions on Facebook, and we are trying to get them to come into a process where they're going to buy from us. So we're going to drive traffic. We're going to try and get attention, and we can do it in a number of ways. We can do it through adverts. We can do it through blogs. We can do it through video. We can do it through testimonials, and you get the idea. So that is just generating an interest and getting them to come to a point where they want closer contact with us. And traditionally, that would be an opt-in of some sort. By opt-in, we mean something they're going to get from us that creates a better relationship and establishes us as an expert in what we're talking about. So often the most common you see is an ebook. Recently, it would be a Facebook group, sometimes with like a 7-day challenge. It can be video, it could be a short course. The idea being that these opt-ins are free and we get their email from them, and potentially even more contact detail than an email, maybe a telephone number and address, because then we can use snail mail, we can text message, we can phone, etc. So the idea of the email is to establish the relationship even further and build trust through storytelling, anecdotes, analogies, sharing testimonials, anything that kind of builds a trust that we're still this expert. Then you actually get to potentially an entry offer. In other words, at this point, all of this from the consumer point of view has been free. They've never had to pay a penny for the content and knowledge that you're putting out. So at some point you want to convert them from free to a paying client. And we would do that normally with an entry offer. And an entry offer is just a small amount to get them used to the idea of paying us. So typically you'll see in America $7. Obviously in the UK we're talking about £7. And that will be for a specific product or feature that we're selling. It might be a book, it might be a cookbook, for example. It might be a very basic 6-week workout plan. You see people selling very basic nutrition plans for this sort of price, because the idea is we want them to get used to buying from us. It's that thing that once people have started paying for something, they're more open to paying in future and at higher amounts. Sorry, my dog's going off in the background. It's kind of off-putting for me. Right, once they've come into our entry offer, then we make them the mid-price offer, or even the thing that you're mostly selling. So that might be, for example, a 6-week transformation. And remember, this isn't necessarily online. You can consider this as an offline funnel as well. And there are different ways to get that traffic. So 6-week transformation might be our standard offer, and it might be something like £97. And then the idea is either we get them on a recurring from here, or, so that might go to a recurring, or we're selling a higher end offer, a more substantial thing. So they do the 6-week transformation, they get awesome results. Now would they like to continue for maybe 12 weeks or 6 months? Or in a smaller group, for example. So if you were doing boot camps, you might then go to semi-private. And then we work our way all the way down. I'm going to tip this video just a little bit to the mastermind, which is what your internet gurus would use. Or for you, it might be one-to-one, it might be a retreat. This is your high-end, not many people will buy it type product. So as you can see, the reason it's called a funnel is it comes down in this big V. In other words, at the top, you need a huge amount of people to take just one down to the very bottom, because at each stage you lose people. So at each stage, even at the free stage, people don't open the ebook, so the crosses come down, there are not as many. Then when we get to the paying, they drop off a little bit more. Then when we get to the actual mid-price, it's beginning to come down even further. Then when we get to our, 3-month or 6-month, we're talking even less. And then when we get to our really high-end stuff, we're talking very, very few people. So that, as quickly as I could do it, is what people mean when they talk about funnels or sales funnels. And as you can see, the biggest challenge for most people is this bit: getting the huge amounts of traffic, getting them to actually take notice of the free, and then that initial conversion into some kind of entry offer.